All right, thank you for staying with us. The conversation starts right now, and it is about the rule of law. It's about governance. It's about doing things properly, and that particular, those few words of doing things properly and the rule of law, it's like it's been missing in real action. As far as River State is concerned, the treasure base of the nation, the oil-rich state of Rivers, right there at the Niger Delta, has been, experiencing some political turmoil. But now it's saddening to see that the, tiers of government, talking about local government, is like being up for grabs by the political bigwigs there. And many persons, especially on the headlines from different newspapers, have been addressing things happening in rivers as rivers of drama, rivers of turmoil. But I'm sure for many rivers people, this is not the kind of news they want to hear. But now we need a legal perspective to this as well. And we have been joined by CHETAM Harry IWUALA. He is a lawyer and, of course, a Pan-Africanist. He joins us from Port Harcourt, the Garden City, this morning. Barrister CHETAM, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, and thank you for having me on the show.
All right. Very quickly, we've talked about, we've had you on this program several times, talk about the development in River State, the political camps, the issues with current governor Sim Fubara and his erstwhile Oga, the way he called it. That's the former governor, Yeson Wike, the issues, the signing of the peace resolution in Abuja, aftermath of that, the issues with the State House of Assembly, and now it's about the local government in Rivers State. Many persons will say, is there a grand plan to just run aground everything that has to do with rivers? The legislature is affected. Now the local government is affected. The state as well, under SARS Fubara, he has said severally that nothing is as affected governance, is doing his work, but many will not believe. But now the local government is up for grabs. There are local government chairmen, all of them, that their tenure conventionally ended a few days ago. But we learned before that time, there was a law, there was a repeal or enactment of another law granting them extension, by a particular House of Assembly led by Martin Amaule. In the middle of all these, three people have died just because of this power grabbing. And the state governor has said he stands his ground. We'll look into, the actions of the state governor and the rest of that. What do you make of this situation going down? Do you think there is a grand scheme to just run your state aground? Because it seems everything is up for grabs.
Good morning once again, and thank you for having me. We are quite saddened with what is happening in River State and the political turmoil here and there. For some of us, we had predicted this earlier on. It's just that some persons are not listening to us, because if they are listening to us, they would have actually understood that we had predicted this particular situation we have found ourselves today. Now, like I said in one of your programs, this is not the first time we're having situations like this, and this may not be the last time, even if we pray it should be, that we'll have situations like this. And let me also state that the crisis in River State is far from over. It's far from over. This is just phase 2 of the crisis in River State, because the political players will stop at nothing until they get whatever they want. Now, sadly, the true position and correct position of things is this. The tenure of the members of the local government chairman had expired. However, during the pendency of the tenure of Mark Damehuli as Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, he had amended some sections of the Rivers State local government laws, particularly Section 2 of that Rivers State local government law. Mark Damehuli had amended it and also created an opportunity for the House of Assembly to be able to elongate the tenure of the local government chairman. Now, naturally, when that was done, we all knew that, and we all said that this is ultra-varied because the House of Assembly do not have powers to elongate the tenure of any representative or any administration. Now, from there, I think some persons who are sympathizers of the governor approach the court, asking the court to expunge Section 2 of the Rivers State House of Assembly, amongst other reliefs they prayed for. And the court, in its wisdom, actually gave a judgment to that effect. There is a judgment expunging Section 2 of the local government laws and other laws or other sections which have touched on this issue of elongation. So if the court has made pronouncement and saying that Section 2 no longer forms part of the laws of Rivers State, Section 2 cannot be applied. That is why some of us have said that what the local government chairman, the immediate past local government chairman are doing, they are only trying to foment trouble and crisis in Rivers State and nothing more pretentious. Because if the court has said that this is the position, it behoves on you to obey the orders of the court. And if for whatever reason you're not satisfied with the orders of the court, what do? If you're not satisfied with the orders of the court, you actually return back to the court and seek for redress. You appeal the decision. Which, to the best of our knowledge, that decision has not been appealed up to now. The matter before the Court of Appeal, which was held yesterday, and continuation of the hearing would also be held today, is with respect to the legitimacy of Martin Amehule and his 26 friends as members of the Rivers State House of Assembly. It has nothing to do with the local government leadership. So I think the governor is in line when he created or appointed caretaker committee. So that particular effect to fill up these vacancies that have been created. But beyond this, you see the crisis in Rivers State is unnecessary. Especially this local government issue is highly unnecessary and avoidable. But sadly, Rivers State has become a ground for these political challenges. And we have continued to have this situation because the political players would not respect the law, would not also respect themselves. And when the political players refuse to respect the law and as well respect themselves, we will continue to have the challenges. So until the Minister of the FCC, who is actually leading most of these local government, immediate past local government chairmen, calls his people to order, asks them to obey the law. He's a lawyer, for goodness sake. And I have always argued, I said that, see, irrespective of whatever anybody is doing, we must obey court orders. Because the moment we do not obey court orders,
all right, we will try and reconnect back with Barrister IWUALA. All right.
So we must obey court orders. Court orders must be obeyed.
All right.
It must be obeyed.
Yeah. Permit me to butt in here. Yeah, Barrister IWUALA. Now, we're seeking, firstly, at this part, the legal perspective to this. And of course, apart from the fact that you're a son of the soil, you're a lawyer as well, a Pan-Africanist and an activist. So I think it's good that we talked to you this morning. Now, you have said, yes, the Martin Amehule-led State House of Assembly tried to tinker with that law, that gives space for tenure elongation. It was an initial 3 years, tenure for them. But now that it had ended, those local government chairmen, the former ones, while, basing their agitation on the fact that there is a law. Well, now you are saying there is a court order that expunged that particular part of that law under Martin Amehule. Now, to start with, maybe we should just go back a bit. Many persons will say the State House of Assembly, under Martin Amehule, were they genuine in the first place because of the back and forth with the 3 House of Assembly that we have and his own 26 or 27 that we have? At the time they made that law, they had to veto, that particular law because the governor didn't assent to that. Were they really, did they have the constitutional power to even do that ab initio based on how they were formed rather, with the back and forth of the law. Coming on the heels, on the development of them leaving their party to another party, even when there was another order that said they were still PDP members. So it's a bit confusing. Please clarify.
Okay. Now, as at the time that law was made, I am of the view and the opinion that that law was properly made as at the time that law was made. As at the time they vetoed the powers of the governor to enact that law, it was properly done. Let me give you a background to that story. Now, we got Martha Amewule was speaker. We got a situation where Edison declared the seat of Martha Amewule and his friends vacant. And Edison took over as speaker, having a confirmation by the court with an interim order, having Edison as speaker. When Edison resigned his speakership, as well as his membership of the Rivers State House of Assembly, and as well withdrew his matter in court, that completely removed Edison and even the earlier order that has recognized Edison, that earlier order that has recognized Edison, it immediately kills it. It ends it. Now, do not also forget that within that time, this was the period of the peace agreement between the Minister of the FCT and the Governor of Rivers State. Within that time, when this was actually done, there was a Justice Omotoso's judgment that reaffirmed or confirmed the position of Martha Amewule as Speaker. And as at the time of this whole happening, the Governor of Rivers State and his people have not appealed that judgment. So that judgment was being executed at the time. The Justice Omotoso's judgment was being executed at the time. So if that be the case, it simply means that Martha Amewule acted within the law as Speaker of the Rivers House of Assembly, and laws he made within that period would stand as laws of Rivers State. However, the court order that have declared Martha Amewule and that has said Martha Amewule should stop parading himself as member of the Rivers State House of Assembly did not invalidate every action taken by Martha Amewule and the assembly members whilst they were still members and Speaker of the Rivers House of Assembly. Understand this logic. That the order did not invalidate what they have done. The order only said that from today, stop parading yourself. Note that actions taken by you previously has been invalidated. So it does not at any point in time invalidate those actions. So Martha Amewule within that period acted within the law. That is why these other people, the people, supporters of the governor, so saw that yes, he acted within the law. So what did they do? They ran to the court for the court to declare the actions of Martha Amewule ultra-various, and which was exactly what the court did, and expunged those sections of the law that was amended by Martha Amewule and his assembly. That is why today the inauguration of tenure of these local government chairmen would not stand and would not work, because there is a court order to that particular effect.
All right.
And that is what we are standing on as of today. So, but actions taken by Martha Amewule at the time when this law was enacted and vetoing the powers of the governor was properly done, until otherwise stated by the court.
All right, so Barrister CHETAM, are you saying that the caretaker chairmen sworn in by the governor are, to be the chairman, looking at it from the eye of the law?
I didn't get that, please. Come again.
Are you saying that the caretaker chairman sworn in by Governor Sim Fubara some days back, according to the law, are to be in charge of the LG Secretariat as of this time?
Now, the question as to whether our laws recognizes caretaker or not is another angle of jurisprudence to be dealt with. But as for the expiration of the tenure of the former local government chairman, I think the tenure of the former local government chairman has actually expired, and they are due to leave office as of today. Now, of course, if you listen to the broadcast of the governor, where he had stated that the head of local government administration should take over the council, which they did take over the council for some hours. I will use that word, yes, for some hours, because by the next day, local government caretaker was actually set up. The local government caretaker being set up, which is actually a property in the circumstance. As a result of the expiration of the tenure of these other substantive local government chairmen. But in my own view, I think it is time that the governor actually starts up the process of local government elections, so we can have substantive local government chairmen. Because I am for one, not one of those who actually support this idea of setting up of caretaker, local government caretaker. We have seen the harm it has caused to us. We have seen the problems that also caused to us as a nation. So I think the governor should actually immediately swing into actions and conduct local government elections, so we can have new local government chairmen across the 23 local governments of the state.
All right, Barrister CHETAM, allow me to bolt in here. You know, you just spoke about the need. You are not a fan of caretaker, arrangement for local government, but it is what we are seeing right now. But then the governor spoke on the matter on these issues. You just take a look. Please hang in there. Let's have the governor.
Let me also sound it very clear here that your tenures are not going to be too long, because as a matter of fact, by the end of today or tomorrow, there should be a process for the commencement of elective local government chairmen in our dear states. Let me also advise that as you resume, so let us not give them the opportunity to continue to make our states look bad in the Committee of States. So when you go back, if there is any situation, I want you to be law-abiding. I don't want any confrontation. You can operate from anywhere until when, but the most important thing, you have the control of the LGA today. You resume in your respective local governments. Please, I do not want any confrontation. It is not in my nature. It is not my style. Whatever happened yesterday, I know.
All right, Barrister CHETAM, and of course, that was an excerpt at the swearing-in ceremony of the caretaker council chairman, and the governor, just like you said that caretaking, arrangement is just for, a short time, because he said by yesterday or today, the preparation for local government election, it will be on. But then he says something, I don't know if that is constitutionally right, before my colleague Evelyn will come in, that yes, they are in control, they are in charge right now, but because of the security situation, the police have taken over all the local government areas, and the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetukun, stated, as reported, this morning, that particular fact, it's on virtually all the newspapers, that the police will continue to be there at those local government secretariats because of, security concerns. Now, let me ask you, legally speaking, the governor said they can operate from anywhere. Is that constitutional? He said, you are in control now, but because I don't want fisticuffs, you guys can operate from anywhere. Is that legal?
No, you see, this is the anarchy I was talking about, because we are now in a state of anarchy, where you have security agencies loyal to the minister, or purportedly loyal to the minister, taking over the local government.
Why are you saying the security agencies are loyal to the minister? Isn't that their work? Would you have allowed them to just leave the place and everything would degenerate?
No. See, the truth of the matter is this. The truth of the matter is this.
Yeah.
I'm not a politician, and I'm not also interested in their politics. But when you see these things play out, you understand what is actually happening, because they do not want these people to take over. They do not want the Capital Committee chairman to take over the local government council. What did they do? They shut down most of the local government and have the police take over the council. Even in local governments where there are no crises, even in local governments where there are no problems, the police is also taking over. Why is the police taking over? And let me also ask this question. What happens to the workers of the local government? What happens to activities of the local government? The civil servants who actually work in the local government, who have been paid every day, what happens to them? You cannot tell me that you can run the local government from anywhere, that the CDC chairman can operate from anywhere.
Are you saying it's not constitutional? That's my point. Can you hear me, Barrister CHETAM? Is it constitutional to run a local government outside the secretariat? Can you hear me? My question is it legal and constitutional for any local government chairman, either in caretaking capacity or in substantive capacity, to run the administration of a local government outside the secretariat? Is he allowed?
Well, our law is silent. Our law is silent on that. Our law is silent on that. And when you talk about running outside, because the truth of the matter is that even whether the law, even when we have a substantive local government chairman, how many of them go to the local government secretariat? How many of them actually work from the local government secretariat? The most of the things they do it from their house. Especially those of them whose local governments are in the rural areas. What did they do? They operate from Port Harcourt. You operate from Port Harcourt, and everything you do, you meet him in his house, or you meet him in his hotel, or one place he will find himself, and he goes maybe once in a month or twice in a month and all that. That's the situation we have found ourselves. That is why some of us have always continuously called for a restructure of the local government system and removing the local government system from the hands of the state government, making it an independent third tier of government. Because right now, the local government is not independent. The local government is solely the property of the state government. And that's what I said, it has to be independent, where we have elections properly conducted for it, not under the control of the governor of the state, and they conduct this election. And we have local government running independently. Funds are sent directly to local government accounts, not through the governor of the state. Like we're trying today. We're asking for complete local government autonomy. So whoever is the local government the local government chairman of the particular place does not necessarily have to be loyal to the governor. So legally, there is no part of our laws that actually stipulates. Our laws is not really clear on the fact that it must be run from the said building that has been described as local government council. Right. However, what is proper in the circumstance is that they should run the local government from within the local government council. Because most of the activities is done from there. Most of the administrative work is also done from there. Do not forget, there are administrative staff. Would the administrative staff also be working from home? It seems to now have the police take over the council. Will they all work from home? And we also have the modalities in our local government to run the local government from home.
But Barrister UWALA, quickly, if I may butt in here. Yeah, you hinted the other time that the police, the security agencies, you didn't say the police, you said the security agencies possibly are working at the instance of the minister. But I'd like to ask you, would you prefer a situation in which the police, the security agencies, all of them will hands off and just allow, the elephants to keep fighting, knowing fully well 3 people are dead already and they can never be retrieved? Those lives are lost. The chairmen that had their tenure, that finished their tenure, they are not letting go. They have been speaking tough. Their supporters have been going, all the way. And the ones that are now in charge, they are their supporters as well. So will you prefer a situation like what you are seeing on our screen right now because you didn't want the minister's influence on the police? That would be a total shutdown of that state. And nobody wants that, isn't it?
Yes, I quite agree with you that as an individual, I would not support a total breakdown of law and order, which is what the police is there to forestall. But,
Yeah.
you know, in this crisis, I have also admonished that two sets of persons that should not take sides in this crisis is the judiciary and the police, because they have a major role to play in the circumstance. Now, why I'm faulting the actions, some actions of the police is there are some local governments that do not have this crisis and these challenges. That is why if you look at security issues, there are some places they say these are flashpoints, security flashpoints. Those are serious areas where these issues are seriously happening, where there is a total breakdown of law and order in this local government. For example, the Ikore local government, we know there's a complete total breakdown of law and order in that local government. If the security takes over that local government council, then it is right. It is proper. For a local government council like Eche, for example, that does not have these challenges, and you go and take over such local government council, then there is a problem. So we are saying that the areas where you have serious crisis, the areas where you have issues, the security should be able to forestall a complete breakdown of law and order. However, the security should be able to look at the laws and the court decisions. In short, we have legal department in the police. They should be able to forestall, to look at the laws and the current legal decisions of the court and start enforcing the decisions of the court.
All right.
Not completely shutting down governance. The court has given an order. The court has given a judgment. It belongs to the police to enforce that judgment. It is not me who got such a judgment that would enforce it. The police is there to enforce it.
All right.
So if the court gives a judgment against you, gives a judgment to me against you, and it requires the police to help me to enforce that particular order, the police cannot shut down the place under contention.
All right, Barrister.
Because you're disagreeing with me, the police cannot shut down that place under contention. What the police should do is to enforce the court judgment by giving me the necessary protection to run the administration and not shut down government.
All right, Barrister.
It's like there's a disagreement now between the governor of Rivers State and some other person, and the police will go take over the government house and say the governor and no other person should come in. Meanwhile, there's a legitimate governor. So we cannot run our system that way. This is not a banana republic.
Barrister CHETAM, you know, just according to exactly what the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, said yesterday, that the police will only vacate the premises of the Secretariat when the court, you know, says so. After the ruling of the court, that is when the police will actually, you know, leave the Secretariat for access. So don't you think that what they are doing, like what FEMI said earlier, is just to forestall any breakdown of law and order?
Are we having, the big question is, are we having a conflicting court judgment as today with respect to the position of local government? Are we having a conflicting judgment? Are we having conflicting decisions? I have here cited a court judgment. I have cited a court judgment with respect to the expunging of the sex section. Is it not the works of the police, the legal department of the police, to write a legal opinion to their superiors or whoever is in charge on the position of the law with respect to the particular issue, and let the police enforce what is the law as of today? We cannot shut down the executive administration while we are waiting for the court to give judgment or to give decision on the said issue. We can't shut it down. But what we see today is a shutdown of administration in Rivers State. We have completely shut down the local government operation in Rivers State. The local governments are not working. And we are expecting development and progress at that level. How do we get this development? How do we get this progress? That is why in my own thinking, I am thinking that the police is behaving like they have been compromised. Because if Mr. A is supposed to leave office, and I get a judgment against Mr. A to leave that office, whether or not Mr. A is contending that, it is within the right of the police to protect me, to provide protection so that I can enjoy my judgment, so that I can enjoy the benefit of what I have gotten via litigation. But in this circumstance, we are experiencing a total shutdown of the entire system. And you are saying we should wait for the court to give an order. Where is this done? This is lawlessness. Lawlessness at its peak.
All right, so we actually heard that the All Progressives Congress, the River State chapter, has called for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to declare a state of emergency in River State, saying that, to curb any position of anarchy in the state. Let's watch this video. We'll come back to take your reaction on the position.
Council chairman, so to speak, as far as we are concerned, illegal council chairman, because again, who screened them? 3 assembly members. When the Supreme Court had made a decision on that matter somewhere, some time ago, when it concerns a governor, in Plateau State, Supreme Court said, what one thought is, it's not about the people who are sitting, it's about the majority of members of the assembly. What we have in this state today is a situation where we have 3 assembly members. One is speaker, the other one is deputy speaker. Maybe the other one is majority leader, because there must be a majority leader to sponsor bills of government. That's what we have. Isn't that illegality? You can see that the man is thriving in illegality. So we are in trouble in the state. We are in a state of war. And because the governor is unteachable, and because the governor does not listen to counsel, even the counsel of Mr. President, APC River State that I represent today is demanding for a state of emergency in River State. It is the way out so that you and I will live in peace. And I have said so because it will be too late to cry when the head is off. The reasons for war, full-blown, the indices of war, full-blown, are palpable, they are clear. So the federal government should do what they should do to ensure that this anarchical situation.
All right, Barrister CHETAM, if you actually watched that video, you can see the Chief Tony Okocha there, the caretaker committee chairman of APC, speaking and calling on Mr. President to declare a state of emergency, saying that River State is in a state of war, is in a state of crisis, and also saying that the governor is unteachable. What are your thoughts, really? He also spoke to the fact that what we have in what there is in River State at the time are 2 state assemblies. We have the 3-man state assembly led by Victor Oko-Jumbo, and he said you have the Speaker of the House, you have probably one of the other 2 members is the Deputy Speaker, one is the majority leader, there is no minority leader, and we don't have chairman of committees. So what do you say to all these issues, the drama going on in River State, and also the call for state of emergency by Chief Okocha?
Well, it is within the right of the APC to make whatever calls they want to make. But the truth of the matter is this. State of emergency is a serious business. It's not something you just wake up in the morning and declare in a state. And the crisis in River State has not degenerated to the point where any reasonable person or right-thinking individual will start calling for a state of emergency in River State. As of today, River State is still largely peaceful. And our laws, the Constitution is even clear on circumstances and ways in which you can call for a state of emergency. It's not call for state of emergency and say, oh, the president should declare a state of emergency. It must be a serious breakdown of law and order.
So you're saying that Chief Okocha is exaggerating the crisis? It's not even as
what we had during the last election.
All right.
And nobody called for state of emergency. What we have currently in River is not as worse as what we had in the last election. It's not as worse.
So
and the likes of the APC chairman, who was then a supporter of the Minister of Justice during that last election, did not call for a state of emergency. Even when his party men were being maimed, were being beaten, were being harassed, they didn't call for a state of emergency. Why is it calling for state of emergency now?
You said
So this is
Barrister, if I
we
may
have
brought
found
in, you
ourselves.
said yourself that what we have currently in River State now is anarchy. So you are saying anarchy on one side, or whatever is happening now is not anarchical enough to warrant state of emergency, or anarchious rather.
No. See, you must understand something. Like I said, state of emergency is a serious business.
Okay.
It's not something that you just wake up in the morning and you declare. It's not. It's not something you wake up in the morning and you declare. It's a very serious business. So anyone calling for state of emergency must have proven that there is a serious breakdown of law and order. My usage of the word anarchy in respect to the actions of the police is because the police seems to be foiling the crisis in the state. The police seems to be shutting down an arm of government.
Are they?
And that is why I'm saying that. And that is why I made the comment, I made the reference to the issue of anarchy. But the point is this. The point is this. For you to declare a state of emergency in a state, it has to be serious breakdown of law and order. It has to be serious issue. But right now, the issues in Rivers are under control. And there's no warrant for a call for state of emergency. So I think that call at this point is premature. And of course, the president should not listen. I'm betting he would not also listen to such a call.
All right.
All right. So what you're saying is Chief Okocha is exaggerating the crisis going on in River State at this time by calling for a state of emergency, or calling for the president to declare a state of emergency in the state. Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you.
All right, I'm saying what you're saying right now is that Chief Tony Okocha is exaggerating the crisis in River State by calling on Mr. President to declare a state of emergency in the state.
No, yes, I agree completely. He's exaggerating the issues in River State. He's really exaggerating the issues in River State. See, let's be clear. We are talking about now the constitution of the assembly as of today. It was the court who actually stated now that stop parading yourself as members of the River State House of Assembly. Stop parading yourself. And it is on the strength of that court order that these people are acting. If you're complaining that the number of members of the River are 3 or 4 or whatever the number is, and that number is not substantial enough, you should be able to approach the court to make such declaration. You cannot stay at the comfort of your office or at the comfort of your house to make such declaration. The courts are open there for the courts to make such, because it is only the declaration of the court right now, as at today, that will change the trajectory of anything in River State. But if the court has not stated or has stated otherwise in a particular circumstance, certainly we will stand by the decisions of the court, and we will obey the decisions of the court.
All right, but
it is not for us to sit here and say that, oh, what the governor is doing is wrong and it is unlawful. If we feel that our rights is being breached or is likely to be breached, we have a right to approach the court to make decisions on this issue, to take a stand on this issue. So if Tony Okocha is not comfortable with the way the assembly is constituted, let Tony Okocha approach the court and allow the court make a declaration on the issue. Not to stay in your office and ask the president to call for a state of emergency, to declare a state of emergency in River State. It's premature, and it's something that I think the president should not even give a hit to.
Okay, 2 questions from me before I move. FEMI takes over. Have you considered that? You said that the court has actually given a ruling for the 27 members of the House of Representatives to stop parading themselves as honorable members of the House. But have you considered, the situation of the 27 constituency being represented by these members of the House of Representatives? Because as it is right now, according to law, according to what you're saying, they have no say in what happens in the House of Assembly. There is no equal representation in River State as of today. What does that speak to democracy? What does that speak to, equal governance and also people having the dividends of democracy?
For one, in all honesty, I am not comfortable with the number of persons at the River State House of Assembly. That is why from the beginning, when this whole crisis started, I have also joined in calling and said INEC should have declared those seats vacant and actually start up the process to conduct elections in Rivers State. But of course, INEC failed to take up that particular action, and we saw a process where different court orders came and decisions were reached to that particular effect. Decisions for and decisions against were reached to that particular effect, and that is the position we are right now. So until this entire legal battle has been sorted out, until we have a final pronouncement by the court, sadly we'll continue to find ourselves in this situation. We'll continue to find ourselves in this situation. But this also tells of the kind of system we have, and the continuous delay of some of this matter. And let me also say this to you. The parties involved are also not helping matters. Because from what I also observed yesterday in court, you find a situation where they will bring up frivolous application just to delay the entire process, to delay the judicial process, so that substantive judgment will not be reached in the circumstance. And that's a problem. That's a problem.
What does that
should be able to represent this
of our
issue
judiciary system, Ms. Barrister CHETAM? What does that speak to our judiciary system? When people can file frivolous, petitions just to stall the process, what does that really speak to our judiciary system? Because for one, we've had conflicting orders in the past, not only in Rivers State, in other states of the country, and people have called for a total overhaul of our judiciary system.
Well, truth be told, the judicial system, as at today, I must tell you that it is not what some of us have been saying. Some of us believe that the judiciary can do better than what it is doing today. I am one of those persons who strongly believe that our judiciary can do better than what it is doing today. And what we are getting is not what most Nigerians want. Across board. We want a situation where these issues can be taken care of. We want a situation where we can deal with these issues. Because when issues of this magnitude, because they are urgent issues, they are issues of state importance or national importance. And when these issues come up, it should be issues of priority for the judiciary to handle within days, within the shortest possible time, and give us and take a position on issues. So these issues can be sorted out and we can have governance. Let me tell you, the past 1 year of the governor's administration was a terrible one. Because in my own assessment, the governor underperformed in his last 1 year. The governor underperformed in the last 1 year. Of course, it's tied to this crisis. That's why when these issues come up like this, we expect the court to expedite action, to take action on the issue. And once the court expedite action or takes actions on the issue, we find a situation where it will allow for whoever is in charge or whoever is in power to speedily deal with
and speedily cause development in the state.
All right.
What we are seeing is the challenges we are battling with.
All right, my next question.
How can we get that development? We can't get that development.
All right, my next question.
Because we have a ton of legal issues pending before the courts. These issues need to be cleared and dealt with, so we can have a focus. We have lost 1 year. 1 year of our lives, 1 year of governance. We have lost 1 year to this crisis, and I bet you we're actually putting ourselves in a position to lose another year.
Okay, we are pressed for time at this particular moment, but then my next question is the call from Chief Okocha for Mr. President to wade in. Last year, when Mr. President actually waded into this crisis, there was a resolution, and people termed it suicide, a political suicide for Governor Sim Fubara. I mean, that particular agreement reached at the time escalated to what we have right now. So do you think Mr. President should, as a matter of urgency, according to what Chief Okocha said, come into this crisis and let's just have peace in Rivers State through Mr. President's intervention?
The president has tried to intervene before. Now the big question is, how would the president intervene? Because the first intervention of the president, remember, it failed. That president's first intervention failed. One of the reasons why it failed is because we had a situation where the governor was made to sign a certain peace agreement and all that, that did not also work. Some of us knew the peace accord would not work because we understand how these men operate and how the system here works. That's why we said here, it would not work. So these are the issues. So if we are calling the president to intervene, what is the president coming to intervene on? How is he intervening? What I would only advise in the circumstances is that we should stay by the side of the law. If the courts expedite action, take these issues as a matter of priority. Give a position on all the legal issues that is brought before it. And we have a position. That becomes the position of the people. That becomes what everybody will abide by it. Everybody will abide by it. But if the president keeps interfering, we would only have political solution and not legal solution.
All right.
And political solution is not sustainable. Experience has shown us in the past couple of months that political solution is not sustainable. It does not last.
All right, well noted. Barrister.
That is why we must put in an effort to sort out these things legally and have a legal solution to it.
All right.
So calling on the president to come back again to intervene. Remember, the president's intervention led us further escalated this problem and led us into a part of this crisis we are in right now.
Barrister CHETAM.
So we must try to avoid that and let the courts, what we should call for is for the court to be up and doing and actually give judgment within record time.
All right, fair enough. Finally, because we should go now, less than 2 minutes or thereabout. You know, when this issue of local government chairman tenure extension, you know, was rife, like I think earlier in the week, there was and then everything began to degenerate. The governor had an emergency meeting, emergency security meeting, you know, with different head of agencies in his state. And then after that, he talked. And this was part of what he said after that meeting, that nobody should touch his supporters. He learned that there are moves to arrest some of his supporters. And he said, as a governor, you know, he said, anybody trying to touch his supporters will have to go through him. Whoever dares it will have to go through him. And, you know, many persons will not be saying, does governor, in a kind, for the want of a better word, still have my supporters? Is he not supposed to be father for the state? And he was saying that at, you know, the end of a an emergency security meeting, for Sir Fubara to say, anyone that tries to touch my supporters will have to go through me. Is he not supposed to be a father for all? You know, there are some persons that are for him. Yes, he might have his political supporters, but for a governor to say, if you dare touch my supporters, you will go through me at, you know, the end of a security meeting. How do you see that? What does that portray? Is he really the father for all? Barrister CHETAM, are you still with us?
Sadly, I must say that it is sad and unfortunate that the crisis in Rivers State has degenerated to the point where even the governor himself has failed to recognize that he has a state to lead and that everybody is currently under him and under his leadership. That he now discriminates between those who are for him and those who are probably against him. I think it was a wrong statement by the governor, completely wrong, and something that does not show any form of leadership, and it's condemnable because the governor should be interested in is supposed to protect the lives and property of Rivers people, not the lives and property of his supporters. So the statement is unfortunate, if you ask me. The statement is completely and clearly unfortunate. And the governor should have honestly taken a position of protecting lives and property of members of people in Rivers State, and not necessarily his supporters. Because when you make statements like anybody who touched my supporters has to go through me and all that. See, the issue is this. We want peace in Rivers State.
We have to go.
We should be interested in anybody fomenting crisis and trouble in Rivers State. We should be interested in nipping them on the board and calling on the security agencies to deal with them appropriately within the laws. Not taking sides as to, okay, deal with this really seriously and protect this other set of persons.
Yes,
it doesn't work that way. It doesn't tell good of our state. It doesn't tell good of the government.
All right, Barrister CHETAM, I understand we must go. A lawyer, Pan-Africanist and activist CHETAM, Harry IWUALA, thank you for being part of the program, and we wish Rivers State all the best.
Thank you for always having me. I'm grateful.
All
Share
right,
my opinion.
we must go. This will be the size of the program for today. God bless Rivers. God bless Ocean. God bless the whole of Nigeria. Let's do whatever it is. Right. Femi Ojo is my name. We'll see you again next week, God willing. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. You can have a recap of this program on, on our YouTube channel at Western Spring Television, Facebook, Instagram, and X as well. Thank you for staying with us all week. God bless you.
All right, I'm EVELYN. Stay tuned for Spring Trends coming right after this broadcast.